Let's go to the learning hoops. We visited one of those before, so we'll turn the hoop on, switch up, facing me, quiet quiver. You notice the green indicator that said we got about 2/3 of the battery charge left. We're in something like the third hoop in the quiet quiver. So if I back flip, oh, it was the second hoop. There's the first default hoop in the quiet quiver, and now I want to do 2 backflips going past the segmented hoop to this hoop here. And this hoop I'm going to lock because we want to stay in this hoop and not flip out of it. So we'll do the lock move, and there it went blue, and now we can play in this hoop without fear of flipping out. So the purpose of this hoop is, I mean, you can actually use it as an interesting display as well to hoop with, but the essential reason for it being in the quiet quiver is so that you can practice orientations, get familiar with the color scheme. So you'll notice that the colors correspond to the confirmation colors of the quivers when you get to them. This is aqua, and if I rotate the hoop, we're going to go, that's the save quiver orientation. The switch is now here. If I go down, we'll go red, and that is the compose mode orientation. We'll get to that in the next video. And here, pink, we're in the 9-pack, and up again to the aqua. If we go into the horizontal with the switch up, the switch is up the top there, we get a purple indicator, and we're in the kicks quiver, originally called Quixotic for wild and crazy and whatever. And if we turn the switch down horizontal, we get a blue confirmation, and this is the random quiver. So we have quiet quiver, random quiver, Quixotic, 9-pack, 3-pack, or the save quiver, composed, quiet, and just play with those and get used to the names. You can call them whatever you want. We've had several names for each, but just so that you recognize what quiver you're in, and it becomes second nature. There are the 6 orientations, there are 6 colors here, and as you play with the hoop, you'll go through the different colors for the different orientations, and it'll also let you know where the switch is, because if you're like this horizontal, the switch is down. If you're like this horizontal, the switch is up, and if you're like this vertical, the switch must be over here, or of course it could be facing out over here. So if I flip it here, I'm going to get a yellow indicator with the switch over here, and that's how we learn all the different orientations with the switch facing us. But if you flip it out, you'll just be on the mirror image side. So now this is with the switch facing outwards from me. I am now in the 9-pack. So vertical, okay. I mean, if we happen to be upside down, we could demonstrate that as well, but this orientation will stay vertical no matter where the switch is, because the switch is always pointing up away from the earth, and the same down here, the switch is pointing to the center of the earth, and so that orientation will remain if we move the hoop like this. Here, as we flip it, you'll see us going through the different orientations that you can do there. We have the 3-pack or the save pack with the switch facing me, purple indicator of the kicks quiver, vertical, switch facing away from me is the 9-pack, and then switch downs, blue indicator of the random mode, and over here with the switch facing me, pink with the 9-pack, Purple of the kicks quiver, horizontal with the switch up. Vertical with this switch pointing away from me is yellow, which is the 3-pack or the safe pack, excuse me, and down for the random quiver. So this is a hoop that you can just play in and get to know kind of in front of a mirror maybe. The mirror is an essential tool for learning the psikohoop. Not for these particular things, but when you start making trails and when you start doing moves, you don't want to be focused very close on the lights in the hoop, and you want to mirror at least 10 feet away so that you can get some feedback as to what the movements are looking like with each different hoop. But play with this learning hoop. I'm going to unlock it again, so the unlock, the right hand, isoflip, half, back. White signal gave me unlocked, so now I can flip out of this hoop. And I'm back in this segmented hoop. Now, the segmented hoop is great for practicing signal moves, and let's just practice a particular one. Turn the switch facing you at the bottom. You'll get the red signal for compose mode, and then go clockwise, so the switch is now at your 9 o'clock, you'll get the pink indicator, and then go back down to the compose mode position and back up to the pink indicator of the 9-pack. So the switch is basically going from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock from where I'm looking. Of course, looking at the video, you'll see it going from 6 to 3 to 6. So, but we're doing things from the perspective of you hooping. So this move, going from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock and back to 6 o'clock, is a signal move that gives a global reset in the compose orientation. You have to turn the hoop on with the switch down facing you, and I'll do a half off, turn it back on. You'll see a red indicator for the compose mode, then you see two little color indicators, which are the first screen in the compose mode, and we're going to go over the whole compose mode in a separate video. But as soon as you see that red indicator for the compose mode, you can do your move. So I'll do a half off again, and the hoop will just show the red confirmation signal as it comes back to show me I'm in compose mode, and then I can start my move. And that move would just be going up to 9 o'clock and down, going up to 9 o'clock and down again. This is going to give us a global reset, and you don't want to do this if you have anything in the save folder that you want to keep, because it'll reset all the hoops to default. So before doing that, you can upload your hoops from the saved folder onto a computer or the cloud, whatever, and we'll find out how to do that later on. But practice doing this global reset before you have a bunch of settings that you want to keep. So we're doing that fairly early on. And what happens is, if you do the move successfully, you'll see a red arc start traveling around the hoop, and at one point it'll start flashing, which is just to remind you that you're doing a move that there's no return from. And if I'll show you this, if you want to get out of that move, you suddenly realize, oh my god, I forgot to save something in the save quiver, or I don't want to do this global reset, just move the hoop in any which way as the red arc's going around, and it should stop that. So let's demo. Half off, red, up to 3, down to 6, up to 3, down to 6. Here goes the red arc. Now it's flashing, and I'm going to move the hoop, and it's stopped, so it didn't do the global reset. Let's save a hoop into the saved quivers, the first slot of the first quiver in the save pack, so that we'll be able to see whether the global reset removes that and returns to default. And we'll open up the hoop in the 9 o'clock orientation in the bitmap quiver, the first quiver. And we'll take this hoop, it's a fire hoop, meant to resemble some flames and so forth. And we'll save it to the first slot in the first quiver of the save pattern. The save move is the left hand doing an iso flip and then a half back. We got the white confirmation. We continue clockwise, and that confirmed that it was saving it to that very first little red slot there. So now if we open up the hoop, here's the switch on this side. If we open the hoop up in the saved quivers, the first slot should have this hoop in it. So half off, yellow confirmation, there's this hoop. So now we'll go down to the compose mode orientation, turn it half off and get our red signal and do the global reset move. So red signal, up to 9, down to 6, up to 9, down to 6, here it comes. We let the arc travel all the way around, and it completed the global reset. Now if we go with the hoop, with the switch here on the side, my right hand side, and turn it on in there, we see we're back to the default first hoop in the first quiver of the save pack. I think the reason I was smiling just back there was because you saw the hoop flash blue and white, and that's because we were in the compose mode, and that is a indicator in the compose mode, but we haven't got to that. We will cover that in a video very shortly. So that is a move that we just learned, which is the global reset move, and you can do that if you get in trouble with the hoops, something is really wonky, you can't seem to be able to fix it by doing whatever you're doing. Perhaps doing a global reset will clear enough of the settings that the hoop will work properly again. Or maybe you just want to go back to all the factory defaults and start over again. You know, if you're doing these tutorials, you want to make things easier and clearer for yourself. So practice doing the global reset early on, as I say, before you've got things stored and settings that you want and hoops you want to get back to, so that you're not worried about that.